What a world, it is your boy DigiDread on the mic coming in with a new Phoenixmon dev profile. Cause bird's the word, baby. And we are ready to blaze this boop up. Whoa! I tell you, I am pretty happy that Phoenixmon has got some support. Long awaited, but what does my deck profile look like? What is the spice, the sauce, and everything nice? And I'm about to bring it to you. So if you want to see this goodness, then make sure you stick around, grab yourself a drink, treat yourself. And if you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and turn the notification bell, because your brother does videos on the reg, you better believe it. Right now, let's go straight in to the eggs. We waste no time. It is going to be the new Yokomon, baby. Yokomon right now is a facilitator of all the shenanigans what is packing with the new support, especially with the new Tamer. Because what I'm going to do here, slight disclaimer, I'm just going to mention Bird Beast. That's all I'm going to mention here, because God, if I keep going over the specific types, this video is going to go on hell long. So basically what this Digimon could do is return a Bird or Beast Digimon from my trash to my hand. Very helpful in order for you to combo off, and that is on deletion, which is quite pivotal in this deck. Basically the Phoenix aspect of from the ashes we rise again, that is what Digimon is basically translating with this egg right here. We just run a simple 4 of no more, no less. So 4 eggs. Going on to then the rookies, run a solid 11. Yes, guys, you know the 11 is kind of like my thing, because we do have mulligans, and the way this deck actually operates, there's so much consistency and searching, you don't even have to worry about running a solid 12. So let's get over the new Beamon. New Beamon is cracked, absolutely cracked. The reason why is the start of main is huge. Basically, you can pitch a bird or beast from your hand to trash, and then you can reveal 4, and then you're able to get a red card from the reveal. Massive, because this can enable you to get any form of option, Tamer, Digimon, you name it, Beamon's got you covered. For real, for real. Then the inevitable, saucy, because when a card is removed from your opponent's security stack, gain a memory. And the thing that's good about this is that you don't necessarily have to trigger this effect by you swinging in. As long as a security has been removed from the opponent, you can gain that memory. It is your turn, so there's no absolute turn stealing shenanigans. But once I go over, obviously, by actual top end, you're going to see some real good sauce. Then we go in with the BT11 Beamon. This right here, amazing, because it enables you to essentially net 2 cards if you reveal the top 3 and you manage to get a red Tamer and a red Digimon with vaccine in the trace. That's we all about that vaccine hype, so that is going to be easily achievable, getting the absolute maximum value. Then on deletion, if you have a red Tamer in play, gain the memory, and obviously this is going to be technically kind of all turns, because deletion, if it's on the opponent's turn, you got to get that 1 memory, possibly swiping turn. Then lastly, we conclude with the BT15 Beamon at 3. So this is really solid, because if you are running Kirsty Damon, or Kirsty, wow, whichever you want to call it, what you're able to do is you officially can kind of warp by bouncing that Tamer back on by the on-play, and then Evo into a Garudamon from hand, which is great. And obviously the Garudamon's on-play / when Digivolving is able to play then either a red Tamer of a play cost of 4 or 3. Beautiful. Then on deletion, you're able to draw 1. Nice little cute inheritable. We can't knock it. So that concludes there for the rookies. Solid 11. Going over now to the champion. So solid 8. Gonna be the new BT15 Birdramon. So I know a lot of people are actually running this at around like 3 to 4. I'm running this at a solid 4, because the inheritable alone makes it such worth. But the when Digivolving comes so clutch and works really well with the Sora, because you're able to return a bird or beast Digimon from your trash to your hand, which then initiates your Sora Tamer play, which is just amazing. amazing value right there. Then on top of that, the inevitable, similar to the BT15 BMon, is that you're able to gain memory once you remove the security. Let me get that phrase right. When a card is removed from the opponent's security, you're able to get that 1 memory. Once again, it doesn't necessarily lock it to you swinging in. As long as you've got a card that can essentially burn security, you're able to gain that memory, as long as it's on your turn. It is once per turn. Then, we do run the classic. We're bringing it back. On BT11, Bergeron, you need a blocker. You need a blocker because this format is all about going fast. As long as you can block a lethal swing, you're cooking. The inevitable, also great for you to essentially build up your Tamer establishment. This deck is very Tamer reliant, so for you to kind of get deleted, build up a freaking Tamer freaking wall, you're laughing. You're absolutely cruising. Then we do run the promo Saberdramon at 2. This is obviously your kind of main removal if you do have the Ahiho Tamer out there, because effectively you can give it rush, you can enable you to raid and retaliate if they are an unsuspended Digimon. But even if they are suspended, you could just then swing into it and kill it. Really good, because now that aces are having more of an establishment in the format, effectively you can then gain free memory and you have got some crazy value to further build up your board. So that then concludes for the rookies. Rookies, champion, solid 8. Going then to the ultimate, 7. So a lot of people have obviously been flipping these ratios a little bit, but me, 4 Garudamon Ace. This card is such tempo, is absolute gas. Like, even first turn play, this is gas. Unless the opponent can answer the Garudamon Ace, then, you know, you're pretty much climbing to Mega pretty comfortably. Because the reason why is that, one, you can play this for 4. Great. Obviously, the Blast Evo or on play, or when Digivolving, is that you're able to play a play cost 4 Olo Red Tamer from your hand for free. Beautiful. So I'm just going to get a Sora out. So basically I played Sora for free. I've got an ultimate lined up ready to go. And now I'm guaranteed the opponent, when passing turn, I'm at free to then go into my ultimate go to my Mega pretty freely and swing and do my game plan. Such value off this card. Obviously, we do have that ace overflow. You know, I'm not blind to that. That's a given. But the absolute value of just first turn throwing this out and getting your Sora established, beautiful. On top of that, all turns, quite crucial here, is that when one of your Tamers is played, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with blocker. So there is quite a few Digimon that do gain blocker. I mean, freaking Melga, obviously with the new Gabumon, can grant a stacked blocker. That is a thing. That is a thing. And further formats, you will see a lot of Digimon that just have blocking inheritables. The thing that's really good here is that, say if they did not attack into Garudamon Ace and they just sprang into security and they have blocker, and then basically play out basically reveal a Sora or Tamer of some variety, and I play it, this will trigger because it is all turns, and I'll be able to pop that blocker right there, which can really shut them down quite nicely. So I do value the Garudamon Ace right there. And then lastly, we do run the BT13 Garudamon, which is just pretty much like a slight decrease in terms of the Tamers that you can play. So instead of playing a play cost 4 or lower, you're able to play a 3 cost or lower Tamer, which is absolutely fine. We know we got that uncovered. We got obviously the Hakio, which is very key in order for our strategy, and then we do have the Kirsty right there, or Christy. I always get them freaking confused, so I do apologize. I'm gonna get downvoted. Boop. On play there as well. But this just is unconditional. Like, I'm playing any of my Tamers in hand if needs be, and I'm playing it for relatively cheap in any scenarios. That's why I do value the actual Greedmon Ace a bit more than obviously the Greedmon. The Inheritable is, I don't know. I'm not sold on the Inheritable whatsoever. On deletion, you can delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 6k DP or less. It's fine. It does the job, but I don't know. I just don't know. It's not the best. If it had the other Greedmon that I can play, a freaking Tamer 4 costs or lower, that would be amazing. So that concludes for the Ultimates running 7. So now we do go to the Megas, and you're probably thinking, you know, what's this boy pulling out here? What's the spread? Because this is slightly different to what I've seen currently on the tube. So I want to get your guys' thoughts. Leave them in the comments. We're going with the free BT15 Phoenixmon. Solid. Absolutely great in what it does. On play and on deletion. So Phoenixmon, nah, don't matter. Don't matter. I'm still getting this stuff off. You can't let that poop down. So basically what this can do is really dependent on what your opponent's security stack is, and that sometimes can be a little bit tricky in terms of what you wanted to do, and can kind of slightly shaft you a little bit or work in your favor. You know, it really is what it is. But if you have 3 or fewer security cards, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest DP. So regardless, they're getting punished. They are getting punished right there. Then if the opponent has 4 or more, trash one of their security. So really good what you can be doing here. Either way, it's not looking great for them, which is absolutely fine. But it's when Digivolve effect is pretty nice, and it's something that BT11 Phoenixmon, you know, struggled with at a time to obviously get that kind of spawn in order for you to get your Ahiho to start actually popping off and getting that rush and all that good stuff. Is that when Digivolving, you have 2 options. You may play 1 red Digimon with 5k DP or less, or 1 red Tamer card from your hand without paying its cost. So you have options, and that is pretty huge right there. Just even getting a Tamer out is massive, but realistically, you want to be getting a Digimon out and obviously having your table establishment set up ready to go, because what you could be doing, you could be playing your promo Saberdramon, you could be essentially controlling board that way if you do have the Ahiho out with the rush shenanigans. This card does add a lot of value in terms of what you can be doing to pop off and really control the board whilst you still being offensive. And if the opponent's going to swing into it and delete it, then you still get some value from it. So we do run that at a solid 3. Then we go old school, baby, because the alt art is sick. So Phoenixmon BT11. So we've got some cards that can really help this this card kind of shine, and the thing that's quite important is the actual your turn effect, because it's not related to if this Digimon removes a security card from the opponent. It's just as long as something has removed that security card from the opponent, you're able to then trigger the on deletion, which can be pretty nice right there. And obviously it's on deletion, pretty much able for you to summon out a, once again, Bird or Beast Digimon, and then we're able to increase the threshold of that by additional 2k from the 3k base that it has. So once again, Tamer establishment is pretty key in order for this to do what it needs to do. You don't need that many Tamers out. I mean, if you have 4 Tamers out, you're pretty much getting another Phoenixmon out. Any lower, you're getting Garudamon out, which a Garudamon, once again, can pretty much get any Tamer going out. If you obviously have the Garudamon Ace, you're spoilt for maximum range on what Tamers you can play. And obviously, if you have your BT13 Garudamon, then you can play your 3 drops, which is absolutely fine there too. So you have a lot of flexibility of what you can do. I still value this is because you can kind of go aggressive whilst then getting more spawn action going off, depending obviously how your tamer setup is going. So we do run that at a solid 2. Then my boy has come out of retirement. We go Phoenixmon, baby. Let's go. Yeah. With the fists of flame. This boy don't miss. And the reason why I like Phoenixmon is that it adds more control. You're playing towards the strategy of you laying out your tamers, and this guy can get so much value from it, giving you memory, enabling you to build out a more fortified board, which is once again very crucial. So it does have raid, very powerful because it means that you have some form of removal tech in your arsenal. This whole archetype can recur Bird of Beast without an issue, so having 2, absolutely fine. When resolving, game blitz. I mean, like Mario Gaming World, you know, we like to blitz on people's faces, and better get a napkin, my guy. You be wiping that off while you're getting absolutely smacked in your glass jaw. And then on top of that, depending on how many tamers you have out, if this Digimon's attack is essentially redirected, and that's not necessarily by the raid, it can be by a block, you're able to gain 1 memory per tamer you have out on field if the attack is switched. Once again, the whole premise of this deck is getting a lot of tamers out and doing what you need to do. If you have the combo right, you can really fortify your board quite nicely, gain that memory, do what you need to do. If you need to obliterate the opponent's field, then by God, go do it. If you need to basically get more bodies on the field, by Jove, throw those card downs like you mean it. This really does add a lot of cool plays that you can enable, but once again, it does vary on what your tamer establishment is like. Obviously the raid you do need to be careful of. Let's say for the likes of Melga, it's going to be awkward because Melga can freaking evade. I mean, doesn't need any more freaking buffs. Why not just give it evade as well? So obviously with that, it's going to be tricky, but it won't stop you from gaining the memory. It will just stop you from actually hitting it, being the thing. So obviously take that with caution, but it does help kind of versing into essential like aces that may be on field. If obviously they are over 12k, you know, unlucky, but if they're not, you're doing pretty alright and you can knock their ass back down, or will essentially prevent them from acing. But that concludes there for the megas, my guy. So going on to the options. So options are very packed, and the reason why is because I'm in a slight trauma of getting Melgood in Ultimate Cup. So you got to respect the meta here, because obviously we got the ban hitting pretty much tomorrow, and the thing is that I do believe that Melga is going to be fine. I think it's realistically going to be fine, but there's obviously other decks that do have very high DP thresholds. It can just chew through your security, so we need to make sure that our security is not like glass. There's nothing worse than just knowing that you can't do anything. So right here, I'm going to give you a jam-packed, spicy option list. 3 Wings of Love. This, amazing. It facilitates the solo plays, enables you to play Beamon from Handle Trash, enables you to play a Tamer for basically a discounted cost of 2. So once again, playing your solos out for the cost of 2, whilst then recurring a piece in order for you to pop off. And this is why our ratios for the Digimon are slightly unorthodox, because this card alone can just enable you to essentially grab a any red red Digimon card from your trash and return to hand. And that's why obviously we got like our Phoenixmon at 2, our Phoenixmon BT11 at 2, and so forth, because we can just recur it, and that's what's really good about this deck. Obviously it does require you to have the Sora Tamer out, which is pretty pivotal in this deck. We do run a solid amount of Sora, so that's not even an issue right there. and just able to just play a Tamer out for discounted cost. Once again, maximum value. Then, for consistency, we do run 2 offense training. Once again, really good in terms of you just kind of passing turn, choking, because we can get our Sora Tamer out. We're pretty laughing at that point. So just choking them at 1 and then enabling you to essentially, you know, they've got very little memory to do anything. They're going to then pass you back to 3. You push out, offensive training, reduce that cost of that Evo by 2. You're cooking. Then on top of that, you enable you to place for 2 and reveal top 2 and then get any red card. We all rented this deck, not even a problem. You've got full access to your actual whole deck and the play. So if you do need to have a nice little kill card that you want to just pop their Digimon, then so be it. You can select it. If they've gone wide and you need that clutch little Crimson Blaze, no problem. This card's got your back. You're going in there and you're getting that Crimson Blaze and you're blowing that board down. So offense training is just absolute worth. Then Trident Gaia, we run that at 2. Once again, we're gonna respect the meta. We're gonna respect if they go freaking tall and they are blowing our ass up and you don't want it, but you just have to take it. No, I refuse. I decline. Trident Gaia is out on deck. The thing that's really good with Trident Gaia though is that if they are if basically they are deleted and they're over 13 KDP, you're able to trash their security, which once again is quite huge because obviously we do have those inheritables that can effectively trigger memory gains and so forth. So if it is our turn still and we just need to blow up that big stack, I mean, if there's an absolute menace on the field that you just need to clap, blah, Trident Gaia's got you. If they're over the 13 threshold, what then we can do, we can gain those memories from the BT15 line, the Beamon and the Birdramon, because obviously that will reduce it by 2 if they have an ace in the stack as well. Effectively, we've reduced the cost by 5, meaning that's just pretty cheap. And then if we do have BT11 Phoenixmon out, we can then trigger its effect to then trigger one of its undeletion effects, which is pretty sick. Granted, I have stated a lot of possibilities, so I'm not naive, like, oh man, if you get the perfect play, you can do this, this, and this. Like, it really is situational. I'm completely aware of that, but it can come up quite massively if you time your plays right. And obviously, with the actual overall spread, our BT15 Beamon can actually grab this card if needs be. But one thing I just want to obviously make sure is that if we are going to be using this deck, making sure that the opponent isn't just got free reign on our security. We've got answers, we can stop their freaking shenanigans, it is all good. Lastly, still respecting the meta, we go in with the 1 Crimson Blaze, just stopping all card, but Digimon being played by card effects, worth. Killing wide boards, worth. All is worth. We're about making sure we get the value of our plays, and that's all that we want to be doing. So that then concludes for the options. Quite hefty, but they all add value to the overall strat. So, Tamers. Let's see what good. Sora, running that at 3. You want to be running at 3. I thought maybe I could get away with 2. You want to see this card. Do you want to see this card? Memory setter. The thing that made this deck struggle originally is that we didn't necessarily have a memory setter, so we did rely on Kirsty or Christy a lot, because ideally, you know, if we did have a bird or beast Digimon, we did get that memory. Not a problem now. We can easily start at 3. On top of that, Garudamon Ace can easily play this card, so it's just mad value. That's why I value Garudamon Ace, is because I can forget a natural ultimate down, and then I can get a freaking Sora down. But Sora's all turns, we love an all turns key phrase, is that you are able to play, if a Digimon is being returned to your hand from trash, you're able to then bounce this Tamer back to your hand to play a Digimon of 13 KDP. Then depending on the opponent's security, you have to reduce the DP threshold by 2k per card in their stack. So it can be a little bit finicky to get it working out. So if they're literally on like absolute 5 security, realistically you're only getting a Beamon out. You are getting a Beamon out, which is fine. Beamon is actually can come clutch for me, especially if you do happen to get into an absolute Phoenixmon freaking lock that you can't really necessarily do anything when you're versing yellow vaccine. It can come up, but sometimes it can be a little bit tricky to get the desired Digimon that you want to get out to do what you need to do. But regardless, enable you to essentially spawn out a Digimon in another way other than your top end is really nice. And if you have the right Tamer setup, you get that rush, you get that advantage, and you're just swinging for days. So you do want to be running Sora at 3. I think 3 is very solid and it really works. Then we do run the Ahiho at 4. This is such an enabler in order for you to go aggressive. The more you have these out, the more aggressive you can be. Also is a great consistency card. Now that we kind of got more of the full bird line, it does work really well in order for you to kind of grab what you need to grab to combo up, get your plays going and all that good stuff, and then enabling you to get your bird or beast Digimon rush if it's played by a card effect is just once again the absolute value, and works really well with say Digimon such as Marsmon, because depending obviously on your Tamer establishment going for Blitz, then depending like say having Tamers out on field, you can then gain that memory back and unsuspend if they have an unsuspended Digimon. Obviously you triggered the raid, or they've obviously triggered a block or so forth. So fantastic card. Lastly, we conclude the deck list with a Chrissy. Oh, there we go. Finally nailed it after I butchered the name so many times. Chrissy Damon. So Chrissy Damon, once again, start main. Able to gain a memory if you have a bird or beast out on field. Beautiful. So if you have Sora and this out, you're gaining 4. If you have 2 of these out, you get 5. 5 memories, a lot of memory to work with this deck. And then the on play is that this one of your Digimon gains on deletion. You may play a Beamon from hand or trash without paying its cost until the end of your opponent's turn. So once again, still fortifying that board, making sure that, you know, if they do happen to delete said Digimon, you can fly back up there. And that obviously partners well with the BT15 Beamon, because effectively if you play that back out, triggers on play, able to then bounce Chrissy Damon back and then effectively go into a Garudamon, you're gonna be cooking right there, and then play that out again to get this on deletion. And if you have this same route, give it rush, rinse and repeat the cycle. Very, very good combos that you can pull out with this deck. Really fun deck to pilot, and I do recommend trying it out for yourself. But guys, that concludes for the deck profile. Bird's the word, you already know. You already know. So if you enjoyed the video, smash it with a like a standard. Feedback and all that good stuff, drop it in the comments. Do value your guys' time, and yeah, you know, I'm really thankful for how much we've grown over the year. Really good stuff, but you know, we keep on grinding, we keep on going, and we keep creating that spice. But guys, stay safe, stay fly, and I'll catch you in the next one. DigiDread off the mic.